quotes that fly around that are missing something are, you know, the harder you work, the luckier you get is a good example. That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah.
Most of the really successful people aren't working that hard. They're working smart, you could argue. But I know for myself that, you know, I brought in people to run businesses that I've started. I've worked less hard, made more money, been more successful. So I've worked less hard, I've been more successful. And then the other, I mean, opportunity, what is the saying? It's when something like opportunity meets.
When opportunity meets preparation.
That's it, thank you. When opportunity meets preparation, which sounds good, but without persistence, you won't meet that moment. You know, if you gave up, for example, even though you were prepared and the opportunity was coming, there's always an ingredient missing out of these quotes, right? And that's that, you know, persistence is the ingredient missing out of that quote, as an example. So actually, this is how luck breaks down very quickly. I discovered that luck is really is actually a formula, but before you can give the formula, you have to understand how luck breaks down. So luck in the dictionary is a random act, right? A random act. So, but there are two types of random acts. So the first type of random act, I'm going to call 2% of your life, right? And this 2% of your life, the example would be, you know, where you're born. You know, you can't do anything about it. You know, doesn't matter what you do, how hard you work, and how much you're prepared, you are going to get born where you are going to get born, and that will have a huge effect on your life, right? So let's face it, where you're born has a huge effect on your life, and that is 2% of your life, but that's still a random luck. You can't control it. You can argue COVID is another example. You know, it happened to us all. You know, nothing you can do about it. Forget conspiracy theories for a minute. You know, just assume it is what it is. You know, it happened randomly to us all. But there's 98% of your life where you can influence luck. But influencing luck is a complex formula that I can break down in 3 simple steps. The first is probably the most important. You've got to take a lot of risk. A more true saying would be, the more risk you take, the luckier you get. Nothing to do with hard work. The more risk you take, the luckier you get. But people don't take risks. They have a fear mechanism, we talked about this earlier, that kicks in, and people have misunderstood how fear works today. Right? Fear originally was designed, lions coming towards us. We actually have almost like a superpower when fear kicks in. We can think faster, we can move faster, we act different, we are innovative, and we are alive. Right? Fear is a good thing, it's an asset. But today we have the ability to switch off fear by just saying no to something. If someone says, come to a public speech event to 2,000 people, oh no, straight away that fear you had is gone, right? But that's not what you're meant to do with fear. You're meant to leverage it to push you to do things differently. So you lean into fear, take more risk. That's the number one factor to increasing your luck. The second factor is basically knowing your destination. So many people don't know where they're going. And the best way I can explain this is like a car analogy. If you don't know where you're going, you can go around in circles. But a lot of people, I invest in a lot of businesses, and when I'm investing, I always say to people, you know, what's your destination? And the answer I often get, which is the wrong answer in my view, is, oh, I'm trying to build up this business so Uber will buy it for $1 billion, or whatever. I'm like, that is not a destination. That is fuel for your car. Money is only fuel for your car. It is never going to be anything more than that. And once you know your destination, then you know how much fuel you need. And once you know your destination, you know who to have in the car with you to get there. You know what vehicle you need to go on that terrain. Then you know how much fuel you need. And you know what to pack in the car for when you arrive at your destination. But without destination, you go around in circles. And then the final thing is persistence. If you have more persistence, you are more lucky. And so I know myself, I mean, my agency business called Fluid, which I sold to PwC, 15 years of persistence. If at any point I had given up, I wouldn't be sitting here today having the time to spend with you doing this podcast. I'd be working. You know, and I think that persistence approach is something so underestimated, and I could go on and on about it. There's all sorts of ins and outs of all 3 of these points that I could go on about forever. But it is much more complex than the basic Instagram quotes that people throw around, and that's why people come unstuck. Because I'm working hard. Why am I not making it? You know, I took advantage of the opportunity and I was prepared, but they didn't make it. And so luck is something I think for people's mental health. They need to know it's part of how it all works. They don't go insane thinking they followed what, you know, these Instagram quotes told them to do, but it's not got them where they want to be.